Going back 2 years ago, you and I were talking about wanting to plant churches in the Valley and realizing that in order to accomplish that mission, there had to be some leadership development engine that would produce all of these church planters that we wanted to see plant churches. Out of that conversation came Surge. So talk to me about Surge, the role it plays in the city, and why are we doing it?
Yeah, I'd start with even taking it and maybe a step deeper than just church planting, is that it was really about the gospel starting in the city of Phoenix, and now the vision's even moving, maybe it happens regionally. And that was really in a sense of, for the gospel to really saturate a city, we believe that there does need to be more churches, but there needs to be more churches that are really healthy churches, and churches that are networked together. They're not just these autonomous individual churches doing their own things. And so it started out of strong relationships with people, saying, what if these relationships extended through multiple churches? So a unique thing about Surge is it's not just a Acts 29 thing, it's not just a Redemption Church thing, it's not just a Second Mile Church thing, but we've got Presbyterians, Sovereign Grace Ministries, we've got independent charismatic churches, we've got independent Bible churches, you kind of name it, that happens within the Surge Network. And the Surge Network really is guys relationally getting together going, what if we thought with a city church mentality about how the gospel could infect the city? The Surge School takes it down to, we need gospel-centered leaders, and so can we train at a local church level in conjunction with one another, in solidarity, working with each other to create a training system in and throughout our churches that the Surge School rallies around the Gospel Coalition documentation, but that we're really developing leaders inside of our churches that can do what the scriptures talk about in equipping the saints to do the work of the ministry as they spread out. And this is what the word surge means: as our people surge into the streets, that they would be rooting out evil, bringing forth good in the gospel.
So what are some of the distinctives of the Surge School as a leadership development engine? How's that break down? What makes it unique?
Yeah, I think one unique part of the Surge School is that it's local church-based, so it's church-based training. So if a guy comes to me and says, Tyler, I'd love for you to train our guys through the Surge School, I'd say, well, the one thing you got wrong there is I'm not the one doing the training, you are. So the first thing you need to do is come through and go through a Surge table, experience the whole Surge School so that you can take it back to your church, and you, because this is our belief biblically, need to train up leaders in your own existing church. So that's one thing, is it's local church-based. Another unique thing is that there's a huge emphasis on living the theology you're learning, and that leaders are learners and that leaders are modelers. And so we really put an emphasis on the guys that are speaking to their churches about living this type of life need to be living that type of life themselves. So I think that's a unique thing. And then there's just, there's a strong emphasis that maybe sadly enough at this time is there's a strong doctrinal emphasis to it, that we really believe that to fully engage in mission in and throughout our city and our region, that it needs to be driven through the gospel and through a strong theology.
We've seen pretty rapid expansion. I mean, I think a lot faster than we expected it to be. And the more we talk to some of these other churches, I think what we found is that nobody else is doing anything as intentional for leadership development. We talk to other guys all the time at large churches saying, what do you do for leadership development? And they go, oh, well, we feel like leadership's just kind of caught, not taught. And so the net effect is they're not doing anything intentional, right? And so if nothing else, this is an intentional program, ministry, whatever you want to call it, but it's the top level leaders taking time with younger leaders to train them.
Yep.